I wonder what we have right now. Of course, we have our guests right here in the studio, and we're hoping that we can have the trailer to set the stage for our discussion. But in the absence of that, let's just welcome Lisa Ono, who has just produced a movie called Busted.
That's right.
Okay, very interesting title there, but it doesn't really reveal anything about the theme of the movie. Talk to us about this Busted. What exactly did you have in mind coming up with it?
Busted was inspired by the law that was passed on the same-sex marriage.
Okay.
Yes, and if you watch the movie, you would know why it is titled Busted. Yeah. You know, we're talking about a global issue concerning lifestyle. You know, the same-sex marriage thing. Homosexuality has always been there, but now I'm trying to make it like it's a legal thing, you know, coming out to say same-sex, they want to get married, you know, and growing up knowing that it is wrong. You know, growing up in a Christian home, it is absolutely wrong. And then Nigeria comes out and says it is wrong and it's a no-no, and it's a 14-year jail term
sentence
if you're caught. So, and looking at it, we see these people, they're up and about. They're everywhere. It's like they're trying to let you know that this is who we are, this is our lifestyle. I mean, I don't know, but I'm like this and you're the way you are. And looking at it, the federal government has passed a law, but we don't see, and the rest of the production team, the people who agreed to work on this project, we don't see any structure, you know, to make sure that this lifestyle is tackled, you know. It's not something that you grow up and just start living. It's something that starts from childhood. It's something
of course,
that
that's
starts
been a
from
subject of
home.
debate as to whether it is acquired or it is inborn. Of
Inborn,
course,
exactly.
the signing of the law you're talking about is the Same-Sex Prohibition Act 2013, signed by Goodluck Jonathan.
Exactly.
But in this case, really, if we have to break it down to society, break it down to lifestyle and humans and all of that, what is really wrong with that?
What is wrong with same-sex marriage? Are you asking me a personal question?
I don't know. No, we're talking general. We're talking general now, because the point there is, it's just like anyone becoming, you choose your religion the way you want to choose your religion, and then maybe at the course of your living, someone becomes an armed robber, or someone becomes just anything in life, any social issue, generally. So but in this case, when you don't infringe on someone else's fundamental rights, isn't the person's right to choose whatever way you want to live?
What do you think?
I wonder what you have to say about that. Let me help you out here. Of course, you know that.
No.
I can. Yes, I understand.
Okay,
yeah, I get what you're saying. You know, now you talked about lifestyle. You talked about some people are born and then they take up the habit of, okay, I want to be this, I want to be that. You can't tell me that someone was born a boy and you, in your mind, think that I'm supposed to be a girl, and then you begin to do the things that girls are supposed to do. I think that when you realize this, especially parents, I mean, you begin to see some traits in that. I think that's when it needs to be tackled. Because I've seen some boys, but they have a lot of women around them. So they're used to the women things, they're used to helping their sisters or their aunts or their mom. And then eventually they think, I could do this thing. And then you see them, they start deviating from what they're supposed to be and then start doing something else that they think they're comfortable with.
And I'm interested in what you have just said. There is a difference between being and doing. They are born a boy, for example, or a girl. But they now begin to do or act like a girl or a boy. So that is where the real debate is. Now the question is, where do you draw the line between acceptance? Because there's a research recently that says that in Nigeria, in our society, that there seems to be an increase in the acceptance of LGBTs. That's right. You know, lesbian, gays.
That was like last week?
You know, and yes, indeed.
Yeah.
Now, can we draw the line between accepting them for their humanity, for being who they are, their creation, rather than you know, talking about what they do. Or, do you understand? Or how they express whatever they want to express.
Before you answer that, let's bring in Foladele to give us a reaction on social media. What Nigerians and what people are talking about.
Yes.
Fola,
good morning.
Well, I want to ask, are we there yet?
No. Perhaps it's not for me to answer, but maybe we'll talk about how I feel after. But let's see what Nigerians are saying about homosexuality, of course. Big debate that we can never exhaust, of course. Mike says, you'd be surprised to know that the amount of homosexual and bisexual guys in Nigeria are more than the straight ones.
No.
It's an opinion, of course.
Yeah. Forever Grammy says, no such thing as being gay in Nigeria. You say you're gay, it's a 99% chance your head is getting chopped off. Olaramola says, in Nigeria, people are jailed just for being suspected of being gay. That's not a culture that should continue. Okay? Hailey Selassie says, the greatest sin, in capital letters, one can ever commit in Nigeria is being gay. Looters, adulterers, fornicators, and even murderers, etc. will stone you to death. And that's the interesting thing, where we choose and pick when we want to use the law. Narcotics says, being called gay sometimes is used to call you less masculine. A man that doesn't watch ball in Nigeria is told that to hurt his feelings. Very interesting. I know you have more to talk about, so I'll get out of your way now. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So now, what are you trying to achieve with the movie Busted? Because some would even think that Nigeria is not even ripe to be having this kind of debate. How much more actually putting out a movie out there?
Exactly. I mean, you know, when we started the social trending concerning the movie Busted, to my surprise, I realized that we have the LGBT community in Lagos, so they're in Nigeria. And, you know, I got an opportunity to talk to some of them, you know, and they're like, why are you castigating us? Why are you putting fire into the fire that is already burning? I mean, you know nothing about us, so what are you trying to put out there? They haven't seen the movie, you know, but trust me, we're Nigerians. We just hear about something and then we just begin to judge. And then I have the so-called straight people, you know, my kind of people, and they're like, it's a no-no. You are such, you know, all sorts of names that it's not supposed to be done in Nigeria and all that. But I mean, we're not in the archaic world anymore. This is the modern day.
All right, we don't have all the time anymore, but one way or the other, the movie is out, everyone.
It's not in the cinemas yet.
Yeah, but the production has ended.
Exactly.
It's packaged
last
already.
week Sunday.
Very good.
Yeah.
Now, just one word. These people have families, they have relatives, they have brothers, sisters, and all of that. Do you have any idea how their brothers and sisters relate with them in
Definitely I do, because the movie wasn't just shot off the head. These are stories that we heard, so and researches were done. I mean, you know, someone said, my mom cried her heart out. She was disowned and thrown out of the house, but after a while, I mean, the mother accepted. And that's what this movie is about. It's not just about castigating these people. Yeah, I know our culture, you know, and the country says no, no, no to it. But you have to look at these people. They have a lifestyle. I mean, that's the way they grew up. Some of them says, I was born this way. I never grew up liking a boy or seeing a boy like the opposite sex. I saw the boy like my kind of person, and they like the other people. So the movie is not about castigating. The movie is actually to inform people, to educate people.
To create awareness.
Yeah, you know,
stigma is actually things that we have to look at. Lisa Ono, thank you so much for joining us on TVC Breakfast this morning. We hope that people can, you know, make up their minds at the end of the day.
Give to Caesar what is Caesar's and to God what is God. Lisa is the producer of Busted. It's a movie enlightening people in Nigeria and even Africa generally about LGBTs.